What is the government? Most people don't know what the government is. Most people think the government is the president, the ministers, people who work in the government. No. The government is you and me. Yes. We are the people who make it to exist. Once you know what the government is, then you ask yourself, what is the government supposed to? What is the role of the government? The government is supposed to put in place measures that ensure that a conducive environment is created for you to be able to fend for yourself, not to depend on others.
So hello guys, welcome to Touch Digital TV. My name is Amina Hussein and you're watching Sips and Soul, where we share, feel and also connect with human interest stories. As you normally know, nowadays we're doing exclusive. And without further ado today, I'm not going to introduce the guest in the studio. He's going to introduce himself. So without further ado, let's welcome Honorable Kenneth Odweyo in Touch Media Studios. Karibu sana mheshimiwa.
Thank you very much. That title is very heavy.
Lazima
and I accept it with utmost humility.
Yes.
And I want to thank you and Touch Media for this opportunity to have this conversation. And I also want to welcome fellow Kenyans to this session so that we can share our thoughts and have conversations that can enrich the many conversations that we are having as a nation towards our collective aspirations and development.
Wow. Umeona hiyo introduction, mheshimiwa apelekwe haraka pole pole tu. So, in Sips and Soul, we normally introduce ourselves. Tunasema sisi ni nani na tunafanya nini. I'm sure kuna mtu amekuwatch pale anajua unafanyanga nini kwa ground, but for the larger crowd, wanaweza taka kujua wewe ni nani, naomba ujitambulishe.
Mimi naitwa Kennedy Odweyo, a boy from a village called Mauko in Busia County. I have a lot of interests, but all my interests converge around the betterment of humanity, community development. I have walked in different spaces and shoes. I've been in politics. I still am, because I believe politics is everyone's game. But at the moment I serve as a technical assistant to the cabinet secretary in the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs, where I am among the few people who are privileged enough in this world to be paid for doing what they love. It's very difficult to be employed and be paid for doing what you love. Because for me, I believe that for us as a society to have that peace, to be safe and everything, everyone must have the ability to either earn or generate their own revenue. So through the ministry and through my role as a technical assistant to the CS, I find pleasure every day supporting young people, supporting women, supporting all Kenyans to be able to establish and even grow their businesses, especially the small ones, small businesses. So because like I mentioned earlier, community development comes from the ability of the people individually and collectively to be able to have meaningful avenues through which they can make money and live what I would call livable lives that are 21st century compliant. So for me, every day I wake up, my mind is on how I can help someone to start a business, sustain their business, or connect them to opportunities that I come across, and even those that exist, so that they are able to just create a living for themselves and have that life that they deserve.
Kazi kwa vijana.
Ndo kazi.
Sawa. With you saying all that, of course later utaweza kutufafanulia what you do, what you specialize in, especially when it comes to now the technical aspect. But before we come to that, of course watu wanataka kujua Odweyo alilelewa wapi, alisomea wapi, na alianzia jani yake wapi?
Odweyo vile nimesema alizaliwa kwa kijiji inaitwa Mauko village. It's in Butula sub-county, Busia County, in the former Western region. He went to a village school called Mauko DEP Primary, went to a village secondary school before it was elevated to a national school called Butula. Then it was called Butula Secondary School. Nowadays it has been Gen Z'd to Butula School. You see that transition. So I went to that school when it was still a village school. But I appreciate that journey because at the end of the day, it's not always about the room. It's about what you see in that room. So I appreciate my journey. I appreciate having gone to that school. I appreciate from there I went to the University of Nairobi, where I did a Bachelor of Commerce in Management Science, a Bachelor of Commerce, and specialized in Management Science. So from there I've worked in different fields, from banking, logistics, and transport. Then from there, I think from my experiences, especially in banking, I realized that there was a gap between the problem and the solution, especially when it comes to how we develop our enterprises, how we support our people to do business. So that's what started driving me towards trying to see how I can think or come up with solutions that can develop different communities, especially at the grassroots. So that's where my interest in community development came in. That's how my interest even in leadership, because when there is a problem, you must develop some leadership attitude and mentality in you to be able to come up with solutions that then take care of those problems. So from there, after years of employment, I've been also in the civil society space, but I also have run my own community-based organizations. For example, I used to run called New Life in Butla. So through that, there were different initiatives where we would do capacity building, we will do training for people, we will basically try to see how we can support people with digital literacy.
Okay.
So many aspects that are around basically the empowerment of the human being and the community. So from there,
Okay.
Because at that time, as an employee in a bank or a company, there are always limitations as to what you can do. Even as someone running a CBO or a community-based organization, there are limitations. So I think that's why I developed an interest in the ultimate leadership position. So I felt like there were gaps in terms of the policies and the legislative frameworks that we have. So that's how my interest in politics developed. So in 2022, I was contesting I was an aspirant for the Butula parliamentary seat, but vile huwa wanasema mambo kwa ground and different. So my ultimate goal was to become the MP, but then things didn't go as I expected. And then I ended up contesting as an MCA, but I still have dreams. I believe one day I'll become a member of parliament for Butula and serve the people, because at the end of the day, for me, my motivation into that space was basically having seen a problem and believing that I have the ability to develop the solution. But definitely, for you to develop that solution, you must be in the room where those solutions are developed, so that you lend your voice, you lend your energy, and you lend your ideas. So that's what drove me into that space. So I did not get what I had aspired for, but I always believe that you target the sun so that you land on the moon. And I also believe that when you win, you lead. When you lose, you learn. I don't believe in ultimate losing. I don't believe in zero-sum games. So because of that exposure, because of that experience, because of being in that room, I was able to end up where I am, working for the government, serving the people of Kenya, where at the moment I serve as a technical assistant to the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and MSMEs. I support and advise on matters MSMEs and cooperatives, because I believe those are the engines of development, especially for the people at the bottom of the economic pyramid. So every day when I wake up, my job is to find solutions to the business people, try and see how we can link them to financing, try expose them to the opportunities in government, especially for the youth, try and see how we can link them to markets, try and see how we can develop the infrastructure, both technological and production infrastructure, that can enable them to produce goods that are even fit for the international market. Basically, that's what I do.
Allow me to interrupt you. Thank you so much for that. It's a really, really nice and flowing journey. You know, we can be able to see the much steps that you needed to make, especially when it comes to government and, you know, political policies, government policies. When you talk about now the economic part, because you've done banking, of course, you've done something to deal with accounting. So by now, simply because you're working in the government under the SMEs and so on and so forth. So you basically know that stuffs like Nyota funding, all these things that are coming in to generate income to the youth. How is it run right now? How is it right now?
So Nyota is a National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancements program that is funded by the World Bank. And basically this program is targeting young people.
Okay.
In terms of skills development, in terms of they give business support, in terms of we seed capital of 50,000. So this program is basically designed to enhance the entrepreneurship, create job opportunities, and also enable the young people to start their businesses and even develop the existing ones. So Nyota is a program that is ward-based. So this is a 5-year program in which every year 70 young people from each ward are going to be given 50,000 shillings grant to start a business or enhance their business. This program is designed in such a way that once those who qualify this year cannot qualify next year. 2, this money is a grant, not a loan.
Okay.
But now the difference between this one and because Nyota is an enhancement of KEOP. There was one called Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Program that was being piloted in 17 counties. Now this one is in 47 counties. The difference between that one and this one is that this one, it's an end-to-end program.
Okay.
Where one, there's a selection criteria, a digital selection criteria that also has a human interface in terms of verification. Then you also do some basic entrepreneurship aptitude test we are trying to measure the entrepreneurial spirit in people. Then after that, those that are selected are trained. Then once they are trained, now they are given the seed capital to start or to enhance their business. But it does not end there. This program is designed in such a way that there is something that is called hand-holding services.
Okay.
Where when someone starts a business, you have to keep in touch with them. Keep on checking on them. You have to see if they're doing well, if there are any gaps, if there are those people that are doing production. You have to ensure that you support them in terms of standardization and quality certification, so that whatever they are producing is has an international appeal, so that they can even access the international markets.
Wow, that's so nice. So when you guys go to I'm not talking about you, of course, personally, the process of selecting the individuals from grassroots, and then the end goal of these programs, what are they?
The end goal is 1, to enhance youth employability, and 2, to enable the young people to start or sustain the existing businesses. And the young people we are targeting are young people who are Form 4 and below, because in our society those are the most underprivileged. So it's for 18 to 29 years, but up to 35 years for those living with disabilities.
Okay.
So the process is transparent. You access it. To apply, you dial *254. That is the financial the social financial intervention platform. It's a free service. So you dial that, then you apply. So this year, the application was closed. Now, at the moment, they're doing the onboarding. Actually, the training is starting today.
Okay.
The training starting, the business development training is starting today. Then after the training, now the youths will be given the funds for the businesses. So the end goal, basically, is that we have always grappled with the problem of youth unemployment. And for a population that is 75%
Youth, yeah.
I think it's very important for us to have very strategic and intentional interventions that are going to ensure that these young people are able to start businesses, considering the limitations of formal employment. There are few jobs being created. We're in the digital era where even the big corporations that ordinarily used to employ a lot of people are scaling down because of digitization and digital transformation, automation. You realize that even banks are doing, banks used to be the quick employment wins, but now banks, because of automation, you realize a job that used to be done by 5 people is being done by one machine. So it's on the basis of that that the government felt that it's important for us to create a route that provides a platform for young people to either employ themselves, and in the process of employing themselves, they also employ others. And the only path is through entrepreneurship, meaningful entrepreneurship.
That is so nice. I hope the program works.
The program will work.
Yes, just like the other ones that we've been seeing, Kazi Mtaani, and so on and so forth. I hope it works. It helps our youth, because at the end of the day, Pia, we are so unemployed outside here, and we need jobs digitally and also skill-wise. So you, as the technical advice, or the technical, let me just call you technical director, because I'm an artist. We normally use the word director and so on and so forth. So for Oparanya, for the Honorable Oparanya, what are the specific duties that you do to him or for him to ensure that everything works technically for him also?
You see, for me, I'm very exposed in the area of MSMEs and cooperatives.
Okay.
Because now you realize that these small business people, for them to be able to do their businesses, sometimes they have to come together into cooperatives or associations or even groups to enjoy the economies of scale. So my responsibility is that, for example, you walk in, you have a business or you want to start a business,
Okay.
and you like support from the ministry. So my duty is to understand your business. If you have a proposal, is to help you align it to the to your dreams and maybe the opportunities that are there. And then from there, I'm able to link you to either government agencies that can support you or development partners. So my job in such spaces, because they will come to see the cabinet secretary, so my job is to advise those people and also guide the CS on some of those matters, because of there are different programs, and definitely as the CS is the policy lead. So the policy is developed to guide the technical. So it's top down, bottom up. So the ideas usually are generated from the ground,
Okay.
that inform the policy at the top. So my job is, for example, we have different programs. I'll sometimes guide on how we implement them. For example, there are different programs that are running, whether it's Nyota, whether it's the coffee issues. So my duty will just be to advise on the best way we can go around it. If there are people that need to come together, I'll guide them on how they come together, either through a cooperative or an association. If there are people that need financing, I'll connect them to where there is financing. If there are people that need technical support, I'll link them to where they need. So basically, that is my role. Anyone that walks in and they have an issue, that is my role. So I'll advise both the people who walk in. Then once I've advised them,
Yes.
then I'll share the same with the CS.
Yes.
And also guide him on the way we move forward.
That's so nice. That's so strategic, I'll say that, when it comes to matters economics. So when you look at the GPD right now, the economic wise, when it comes to Kenya right now, under the government of William Samoei Ruto, and comparing to the former government that he was part of it, of course, with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, do you think economic wise we have grown as a country and reached our GPD, or we are still there improving our net gross income?
Personally, I'm that guy who tries to avoid looking at my current girlfriend from the lens of my ex, because circumstances are fluid and they change every day.
They do.
And for me, economic development is personal.
Okay.
And that's why I personally believe that we are always progressing as a country. Sometimes it's very difficult to measure today, to compare today and tomorrow, because yesterday you might have had 1,000 shillings, but the cost of bread was 20 shillings.
Yes.
Today you might have 2,000 shillings, but the cost of bread is 200 shillings. You might have more money, and that's why I said it's very difficult. Some of, and I'm very commonsensical when it comes to economics. I try not to focus on what is in the books and the papers, because economic development is personal. I believe as a country we're in a better space in the sense that there are programs that are more intentional, that are more strategic, and they are more aligned to the aspirations of the people of Kenya. Today, I speak that way because I am sufficiently appraised on most of what is happening.
Yes.
Today, the government has taken what is called the value chain, the whole value chain approach, where when you are looking at a farmer, when you are looking at a crop like, let's say, coffee, or edible oil crops, previously there were a lot of disjointments in the value chains, where maybe someone will just focus on the crop alone, apande momea yake, whatever comes out of it imeenda. So now the whole value chain approach is such that we are looking from what is called from the crop to the cup. We are looking at, when we look at something like coffee, how do we increase production and productivity? For example, the average production per bush is 2 kgs.
Okay.
So yet that same bush has the potential to produce 30 kgs. So we are starting at that level. How do we help this farmer to better their bushes to the extent that they can produce 30 kgs or 20 kgs? So we support the farmer at that level. And before we support those who have, and we also introduce others by even supporting them with things like seedlings. Then at that production level, the next step we move to, once we've produced, what can we do to increase the returns to the farmers? We do value addition. Once we've done value addition, how do we get the best markets? So the purpose of the whole value chain approach is to ensure that I am not forced to go to the farm. Unajua sasa we are talking about Gen Zs. Gen Zs hawataki kushika jembe. So when we do the whole value chain approach, we are giving an opportunity to everyone. You don't need to be a farmer, and not all of us have land, but you can come up with technology that does soil testing. You can develop drones that support in spreading, in spraying the crops.
Yes.
You can become your job is just to train farmers on financial literacy. You can become a transporter. You can come up with an app for marketing purposes. So we are looking at the whole system, and that's why for me I believe we are in a better space, because this space absorbs everyone based on their desires. We have a government that has developed a program all the way from the normal brick and mortar to the digital space, where we have opened up the space for digital entrepreneurs like you to comfortably do your trade from home. So for me, I will say all factors looked at it, we are in a better space, and individually I believe there are more opportunities out there for people, especially the young ones, in as compared to what we've had previously.
And before we close onto that chapter, I just wanted to ask, are you guys doing any marketing purposes, any material selling outside there, making sure that us youth, especially the Gen Zs and the millennials who are not even employed, they get such information? How do you ensure that? Because I feel like most of our youths are not impacted by such a knowledge. They don't know this, and yet most of us have phones.
So it's two fronted.
Okay.
One, we are doing a lot of sensitization, both physically, like for example, I can comfortably tell you that we have 33 coffee growing. I'm talking about coffee because that is gold.
Yes.
One of the key areas of focus. We have 33 counties that have the potential to produce coffee. The cabinet secretary has done physical sensitizations in 25. Those sensitizations bring together up to 2,000 people who are sensitized. Now when I'm talking about sensitization, this is a whole ministry approach where the sensitization, the cabinet secretary as a leader will come, other agencies will come, so they will not just be talking about coffee. They will tell you about the Micro and Small Enterprise Authority that deals with small business. They will tell you, there will be someone from the Kenya Industrial Estates to tell you about how you can access financing. There will be someone from the Hustler Fund to sensitize you.
Yes.
There will be someone from New KCC and New KPC to tell you about. So these are forums, that are open forums that we invite everyone to come. And then we also have handles and social media where we also share this information. And even the cabinet secretary and the principal secretaries also do these sensitization forums. But now on the other side, we're in the digital era, and the young people in Kenya are some of the most tech savvy young people in the world. And I'm telling you that because I've gone to, in the recent past, I've visited a lot of developed countries.
Okay.
And I can comfortably tell you that in terms of tech savviness, we are far ahead of a country like Germany.
Can you kindly explain that? Because someone can't, kuna mtu hata comprehend. They'll say, oh my God, no, explain it tafadhali.
In terms of digital enthusiasm,
Okay.
and digital exposure,
Okay.
I can comfortably tell you we are ahead of a country like Germany. Germany are good. They have their own. They are good in this technical
Side.
this technical, mechanical. They are good. But
Yes.
now when it comes to digital, we are far ahead of them, because there are places where you go and you go to a hotel and there's no internet.
There's no Wi-Fi.
There's no Wi-Fi. But you see, and you know, people don't worry so much about that. It doesn't trigger their
But it has right now.
that much, you see.
Yes.
But now, like in Kenya, the internet is everything. Now I'm comparing that enthusiasm, because for them, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no big deal.
There's no big deal.
Someone will tell you, we have a contract. The technician we're supposed to come within 7 days, so nobody will complain.
What?
Now you cannot compare that with
Kenya.
Kenya. There's a Safaricom goes down for 1 hour and people are all over shouting. It just shows the enthusiasm in them.
Yes.
So personally, what I always tell the young people is, I wish we could convert that digital enthusiasm into digital entrepreneurship, in the sense that,
Kindly repeat that again, because I feel like most of us are getting lost at that part.
so what I want to say is, I always call upon the young people to convert that digital enthusiasm into digital entrepreneurship, because most people are digital enthusiasts, but
Kidding me.
without a mind that is capable of informing you of how you can make money out of that enthusiasm, you just end up like let me just say, making money for other people, for the owners of the platforms. So like, young people are averagely online at least 14 hours in a day.
True.
At least 14
Maybe
hours.
some even 20.
Yes, in a day. Ask yourself, those 14 hours, how much money have you made for yourself? And how much money have you made for someone else? because going online, it's not just online. Personally, I believe in whatever space I walk in, I'm either supposed to teach or to learn. When you teach, you earn. You may not get paid that time, but there is something you build for the future. Like I told you about my journey.
Yes.
Walking into that room when very few expected I would walk in.
Yes.
But then I'm here.
Yeah.
Because I invested at that time. So when you teach, at some point, you will earn for it. It might not be monetary, but it will build your reputation, and that reputation is what will attract opportunities for you.
Yes.
If you are not teaching, then you should be learning, so that you become a teacher. So when you are online, you are looking at people's photos, you are watching videos, ask yourself, what are you teaching or what are you learning? Because that's the only way you earn from whatever activity you do. So I always call upon young people, as you go online.
Wow.
These opportunities exist, but unfortunately 99% of the young people will tell you there are no opportunities. But then you ask them, do you know what the Ministry of Youth does? Do you know something called the Youth Fund?
Yes, I do.
Now I know you do. Now generally ni kama ile huwa nasema, you find people on the streets, we know our rights, we know then you ask them which right.
Let me tell you, Honorable Odweyo, it's not our fault sometimes. You see, something like Youth Fund, for example, mimi nilikuja ku find out after nimemaliza campus, when I was struggling outside there after internship, someone told me there was a Youth Fund. Youth Fund is normally there. Go and Google for it, search for it. You see, for me to get such an information, it came from someone.
Amina,
I'm just telling you what happens in the ground to the
to
layman's language, you know, like the layman's person, even though tuko.
yes.
Kuna a lot of people, hata ukienda kwa hii stage sahi, imejaa watu, enda uliza hata kijana mmoja pale wandu the Youth Fund nini atakwambia.
I used to be a radical. I used to say
There is a gap.
I used to say very nasty things about the government, about how it's doing nothing.
Yes.
But I realized that I'd created
A notion in your head.
And that notion was based on some self-imposed ignorance.
True.
There is information, you choose not to know it. And then out of that ignorance, there is anger that develops.
Ukweli.
There is bile, you hate. The moment I hate you, I'll never be interested in knowing you.
And even what you're saying.
So what I am saying is that the first thing I always tell people is, young people especially, is to understand what the government is. What is the government? Most people don't know what the government is. Most people think the government is the president, the ministers, people who work in the government. No. The government is you and me.
Yes.
We are the people who make it to exist. Once you know what the government is, then you ask yourself, what is the government supposed to? What is the role of the government? The government is supposed to put in place measures that ensure that a conducive environment is created for you to be able to fend for yourself, not to depend on others. The government only has one job: to create a conducive environment for its citizens to be able to develop and access opportunities for self-development independently. After you've understood that, then you ask yourself, how does the government do it? Now that's where there are ministries. Ask yourself, what does the Ministry of Interior do? The Ministry of Interior is responsible for our safety and security,
yes.
Internal security. How does it do it? It does it through the different structures, the police, the chiefs, and all that stuff. These people are being paid. How am I benefiting from my taxes? There's a police station here. You need to ask yourself, how are these policemen helping me? I'm a young person. You talked about the GDP. How do we generate that revenue? Now you have different ministries. You ask yourself, what is the role of these ministries? Because the government has a budget. The reason why you spend is to either make money for yourself or for someone else. So you need to be asking yourself every time you spend, what am I benefiting? Ama ni kujaza tumbo tu? Every time you spend, you are supposed to make money for yourself or create an opportunity for you to make money in future. So the government is spending money on different programs. You need to be asking yourself, how can I benefit from those programs? 99.999% of Kenyan people, especially the young people, have no idea what is in the budget.
For sure.
If you have no idea what is in the budget, how will you know how to benefit from that budget?
You won't. It's
a big document. I'm not telling you to read everything. I also don't know everything.
Yeah, ukweli.
But you see, you cannot do everything, but now you choose. Be selfish. Identify that what is aligned to your aspirations. Wewe unataka kufanya biashara. You want to do business. Ask yourself, just Google. It's very easy. Uko na simu, just Google what opportunities are there in government to support young people who want to do business. Chat will bring you. Some information will be old, some will be.
Ukweli.
Ikisha kuletea hiyo information, sieve. Ikwambia the Ministry of Youth Affairs has this program. 99% of the young people do not know where the office of the Ministry of Youth Affairs is. They do not know where the youth fund is. But they are the first ones to shout. Sio kwa ubaya, I'm not talking because
I know what you're saying.
This is the uncomfortable truth that most people, Kenyans, do not want. Wakenya wapendi ukweli. Wakiambiwa wanasema huyu sijui ni wanani, huyu ni wanani. But what I am saying is the responsibility to inform yourself ni yako.
Ukweli.
You cannot blame anyone for your ignorance of obvious things that are in public domain. I repeat, you've identified that the youth fund supports business or gives loans.
Yes.
Take a moment. Just angalia online. Kuna asset finance, kuna za groups. If you do not understand, find out how it's structured. There are youth officers up to the sub-county level. Walk into that office. They are not very busy offices. Those are some of the least busy. Walk into that office, understand what is happening there.
Yes.
Because I told you, my sister, economic development is personal. So the responsibility to develop yourself is not on the government. The responsibility to develop yourself is on you. The government, like I said, it's not in the business of giving you money or doing what. The government will put in place structures. It will keep you. It will ensure that there is security. It will ensure that they have built. There's a health system. It will ensure that there's an education system. Now, making money is your own choice. But I know there are challenges, and people will say there are challenges here and there. But I can tell you from my own personal story that there is something I always call currencies.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own currency yenye alipewa na Mungu. Ukiona Odweyo anaongea hapa, usitaki kuwa kama mimi. You don't know what God gave me. And you don't know how I have nurtured it to get to where I am. The problem we have is we have the copycat mentality. Amina walianzisha ile studio. Iko na saini, iko na followers wengi, wacha pia mimi nifu. And that is what the problem we have sasa na hizi digital space is that everyone now wants to be a content creator.
Now we are following the same niche, all of us.
Yeah, so for me, understand that what God gave you. Then ask yourself how you can use it to become what God intended of you. God put something in you that you are supposed to use to become what he intended of you. Until the day you realize that, you'll never be anything in this world. You'll always be complaining, blaming everyone. You'll be Mr. and Mrs. Perfect in this world. And the world moves on. That's why you realize kuna watu unatusi, unawafanyia nini, but hawa naendelea tu unajiuliza, kwani Mungu aonangi mi ama ni mimi ndo niko na makosa ama nini? So for me, this information is available. And I always tell, especially the young people, out of the 14 hours or 20 hours you are spending online, just take a moment, just one, to understand what the government is doing. It's for your own good. It's for your own good. Because that is the single the government is the only one that can guarantee you everything, but that guarantee inatokana pia wewe na kujituma yako.
The only problem that I have digitally right now with the youth is the fact that when such a program like Nyota program comes, let's say any other program that comes with the government, utapata haiko hyped ama it's not marketed to you the way it's supposed to. But when it comes to factors that is now, it wants to take you to the streets, to demos and stuff, that thing will be sold to your FYP until you start asking yourself, nini, able let me just check, oh, he passed a land commission, ilipitishwa the bill, whatever. That's the thing that it comes on your top level search. You get my point? So when it comes to such things, sometimes you find out where ukilogin pale, because it's an app, the algorithm automatically takes you to something that is negative. So I found out that in Kenyan digital spaces, we have injected ourselves with negative notions and negative marketing strategies, such that if someone wants right now to, be big in this Kenyan industry, or whatever you can call it, they must be selling something that is negative. So my only problem is, can we try a notch higher and sell something good to the people first? Because someone who's now what when you wanna support negativity, there are many. Because maybe right now, if I hear that, for example, the president has the way the other day hizo bills zilipitishwa, except the cybercrime yenye sai bado iko still at high court, that one came first hand when I just opened my phone. But something at the same time, Nyota Fund was going on, right? Hakuna kitu kama Nyota Fund that came on my FYP. So in as much as you guys are trying also to sensitize us, giving us these opportunities, can we try also to market it digitally, such that when someone comes to their phone, the algorithm first inaonesha hiyo, and then the other ones. That's how I feel like if we regulate our social media like that, we can be able, someone in Turkana akifungua TikTok atapata Nyota Fund as an information, instead of getting all these other atrocities and so on and so forth. So that's my only problem when it comes to all these things. There is a gap.
For me, sometimes and I'm speaking as someone who has been in the civil society space.
Okay.
Maandamano mimi nimeenda sana tangu nikiwa campus. But as I've grown up, nishaijiuliza swali moja. Hii nchi ni yetu. Kama tunaipenda hivyo sana, mbona siku moja tusitishe maandamano ama rally kusensitize people on government programs? Tuite watu Uhuru Park, tuseme leo, and sio lazima ikue the government. Like I said, people have created a notion that the government is something from Mars, sio sisi. But you see, what I always tell people, and I want to be very raw on this, it's so stupid for you to hate someone you are paying. It's so foolish for you to hate someone you are paying.
I swear, yeah.
Imagine, unalipa ushuru, there is a government, iko na programs, it's spending your money, and then you hate the government. How foolish are you? So for me, there's a lot of unnecessary negativity. And that's why ulisikia recently niliona mahali wakisema, sasa vile baba ameenda, gazeti itauzwa aje? TV watu watakuwa naongea nini? That is the society we've become. And that's, I appreciate the conversation we are having. I appreciate that we are not talking the emotional nonsense za siasa na nini. We are having conversations that can inspire people.
And
we are supposed to have conversation,
yes.
Inform people,
educate,
attract people to positive things,
yes.
Educate them. We create monsters out of our own selves and societies with that negativity. Because I can tell you for free, my dear, there's a lot that is happening. Because if the government was that bad, and if our things were that bad, then we wouldn't be having rich people. And when I talk of rich people, forget these loud mouths in the streets you see talking about.
Yes.
We have people living quiet lives. They make their money.
Yes.
They do business. Everything that you buy, there's a producer, there's an importer. Ask yourself, saa zile unasema okay, I know things are tough, like I said, it's personal, but you need to sometimes sit down and ask yourself, mimi hasoli yangu haiingiani, haiwork, but kuna ya mtu ina work. Ask yourself, hasoli ya umse inawaka aje na yangu imekwama wapi? But because of the extreme negativity and the bile and the toxic bile in us, if it's working for you, then nataka ni kupull down tukue level moja. That mentality is a poor man's mentality, where ati kama mtu ako nayo, badala uende akufunze ama ulearn from him, ati unataka umpull down mkuje ground ndio sasa mcheze kwa matope wote. That is very foolish. That is the society we live in.
True.
This hate, this anger that people express towards most of the, and I'm telling you as someone who has been in the political space, kushinda kiti si rahisi.
Si rahisi.
There are things you go through. I personally went through I withdraw that word. I personally walked the worst path to get there. So instead of trying to understand these people, come work with them, because how ndio wako. You know, for me, other than the president, I never voted for any other
person.
Another person.
Okay.
Because
why?
They were in a different party, and I was also, in some cases, I was also a candidate.
Okay.
I never voted for my MCA. That one I say publicly, he knows. I never voted for my MCA. I never voted for my MP. I never voted for my woman rep, my senator, and my governor. But group zetu za nyumbani zote, I share opportunities and I engage in conversations that can ensure that we develop our community, regardless of whoever is seated on that seat. Because for me, I believe opportunities ziko kwa ofisi, si kwa mfuko ya mtu. Huyo MCA, MP, even the president ataenda na atawacha ofisi. Saa zile yuko, how can you make use of those opportunities? Mimi wanasema kuna serikali mzuri na kuna serikali mbaya. Serikali ni serikali. And I'm telling you as someone who has recently traveled. In the past 6 months, I've been to Canada, I've been to Italy, I've been to Germany twice, I've been to many other places. And I am telling you, those people also have their own issues.
Okay.
But their systems they have embraced. One thing that those people don't compromise are their governments, their systems. They respect them, however imperfect. They are not perfect, but they embrace them. Once you embrace that what is yours, then it gives you the opportunity and the clear and clean positive mind to know how to improve it. But when you hate that table and it's there na hauna ingine, my dear, every day utakuwa unaibomoa tu mpaka itafika umeibomoa hauna ingine.
Kweli.
So mimi, I always urge people to be positive. Make an effort to know you are jobless, unatafuta job online, go online and check. Na like nimesema, we are chasing other people's dreams. Sisi wote tulikuwa med school, ule ameandikwa Aga Khan, so wewe pia utashinda maisha yako yote unatafuta job Aga Khan?
Hapana. When
there is somewhere where you can go, and because for me, I believe in impact. I believe in effectual programs more than effective programs.
What do you mean by that?
You can be a program can be effective inafanya it's being implemented well. Let me use, I've talked about a doctor in Aga Khan, and I'm sorry, I hope I'm not infringing on anyone's.
No, it's fine.
So I want to use this example. You work in a very good office, but with very minimal impact. The big man syndrome.
Yes.
So that's why I believe I'd rather be a small man be doing big things than a big man doing small
things.
And there is someone who is working in a very small place but is impacting.
With that in mind, do you think that with the death of, may he soul rest in peace, Baba, will the political scenes, ideologies, you name it, will it change in Kenya, especially Western Kenya? How will it affect it?
uh,
Because
Baba, may his soul rest
in
in
peace.
peace. All I can say is that he created a man that might take centuries to be created again in Kenya.
That's deep.
What he created out of himself is something we may never see now in 10 lifetimes. Because this is a man who had an option of just sitting like many others and enjoy the privileges of
His father's.
I go back to currencies. But huyu mwanaume alijiita mkutano akajiuliza, what can I do to help my country?
Wow.
That man had a seat prepared for him before he was born. But he left that seat and went to create his own. He had an option of doing what everyone else was doing.
Yes.
But history has a lot of facts. There are many who decided to take that route of comfort. And they'll never get a tenth of what that man. Many would laugh at him, many would wonder what. But that man embraced what I'm telling you, the God-given currencies. You may not like how he did these things. You may have issues with some of the things.
Yes.
But like I've told you, identify your currency, nurture it, and use it to make the world a better place. Whichever way. I always believe once you believe in yourself, you believe in what you're doing, and you do it to the best of your ability, people will just fall in line. And that's why people will hate him during the day, but at night they will look for him.
Baba, ulisoma constitution? Inasemaje?
That is not something that comes out of.
Yes.
So there are different ways to look at that. I personally believe we are human beings. We make choices. Like I said, the duty of educating yourself, making yourself knowledgeable, the duty of eradicating ignorance in your life is your personal responsibility. Whatever has been happening out of individual and collective choices. There will be changes. I don't want to predict. Definitely there will be realignments, but I personally believe every era comes with opportunities and challenges. The pessimists will focus on the challenges. The optimists like me will focus on the opportunities.
Wow. So having been to the ballot, last but not least, having been to the ballot, because you contested for the MCA seat. And by that I mean that by that time you ulikuwa kijana by that time, kijana mdogo. Do you think there are opportunities for young people in this country to lead? Because I feel like you as a youth, especially when you go for the MCA seat, maybe going for the women rep seat, depending on, I feel like there's an age factor when it comes to our government and our people, because we are the people who are selecting our leaders. So when someone is young, we tend to assume that huyu ni kadogo bado hajajifamiliarize na the problems that we have in this society. What do you have to say about that?
First of all, let the record note that I am not that young. I will not disclose.
No, you look young, but you look young.
I look young, and I always say the best gift you can give yourself is to take good care of yourself.
True.
Usikuwe mzee kama una pesa.
Kama una pesa.
So for me, I believe there are opportunities, but first of all, you must define yourself. You must define your purpose. The problem that we have, and the reason why most people fail in quotes, is because they don't even know who they are. Mimi, I have a lot of problems. Mingi sana. Saa zingine nendanga job naona nimekaa mpaka saa 4. Then nalipiga kofi nasema Mungu na withdraw that statement. Once you define yourself, that's how you know the path you're supposed to pursue. The follower mentality is so rich in Kenya, and that's what's killing the careers of many people, especially young ones. you want to be like so and so, this one made it. And that's why when I was talking about, even when we were talking about the late PM,
Yes.
there are many who are talking about, there are many who would want to be. You can be like him, but in your own way. So identify your own way of becoming baba. Don't become baba in his own way. Sasa tuko na katiba. Hizo siku hatuko na katiba. Ama wewe pia unataka kuleta mnataka kuya 1982. Mnataka detention. Sasa tumepita hiyo. So you cannot tell me that you want to become baba. No. Become a baba version of you. The best you can ever be is the best version of yourself. So for most of the young people, there are opportunities, but first of all, you must jijue kwanza. Ukishajijua, jichague. Saa zile unajichagua lazima ujipime. Ndio ujue hii ndo njia yangu. Na ukishajua hiyo ndo njia yako, sasa unaifuata. Na kabla uifuate, you must look at the path. There are opportunities and there are challenges. Are you ready for them? Mimi nikiingia siasa, I was very innocent. Mazee unaambia watu ukweli. Na watu hataki ukweli kwa sababu the way we've conditioned ourselves. Kwanza unajua, you know Kenyans, the problem we've had is that Kenyans elect people based on everything other than what is in the constitution. You know me, I was contesting for MP.
Okay.
I wanted to become the MP, and that's my immediate dream. So unauliza sasa wewe hauna bibi, hauna boma, hata pesa pia hauna. So wende utafute pesa kwanza. That's how leaders are qualified in Kenya. And I used to, it's okay when an 80-year-old man anakuambia you are still young.
Yeah.
But unapata mtu wako 10 years younger than you. Anakuambia sasa, wewe hauna pesa. Hauna pesa. And that is a young person who has 70 years to live, but is judging their leader based on the handouts they can give them. So there are opportunities for young people, lakini kwanza usifuate watu. Wewe angalia kama hiyo ndo njia yako. Mimi nimekuambia mimi I chose, when I started, actually I had nothing. And I'm largely a product of the media. I left everything. So sikuwa na pesa. So nikaona nini niko nayo. Rafiki yangu akaniambia, bro, unajua ile akili Mungu amekupea. So I struggled to get into these spaces, kupata interviews, kupata spaces. So I started writing. I started writing articles, especially on leadership, enterprise development, youth empowerment. Then hapo nikaanza kupata media. So unaenda mahali unasimama, huyu ndio Odweyo, you know. So mimi ningetaka kukua, if I wanted to join politics na nifanye venye baba alianza, ama vile president anafanya, ama vile MP wetu anafanya, ama wengine, singekuwa hapa.
Ukweli.
Ninge crash immediately, ninge take off. Hata singe take off. Unaona? So mimi niliona nini niko nayo? Currencies. Mungu amenipea nini? Na naweza tumia aje hiyo kitu Mungu amenipea to make the world a better place? Because you exist in the Lord's Prayer. I'm not a very religious person, but najua in the Lord's Prayer inasema, let it be on earth as it is in heaven. Binguni ni hapa tu. So kazi yako hapa Mungu amekuweka to make it a better place, so that ukitoka mwenye anakuja apate a better place. So every day when you wake up, that's now what leadership is. Aspiring every day to make the world a better place. Thinking about how to solve problems. Being positive. And solving problems, don't look at what is in Mandera. Just look at what this gentleman. Ujamaa unaona, si kwa ubaya bro. Unaona, ujamaa ilong yake ni kama hajafua. Anaweza kuwa na shida gani ujamaa? It's as simple. This
is part of joke.
So, leadership is about being able to see what I will say, turning the imperfect into the perfect. And it's indiscriminate. Ukiona huyu jamaa kona issue, usimwambie enda nyoe nywele. atuchane nywele, wachana understand why ameacha nywele hivyo, shughuli yake hiyo.
Know the problem,
and not even knowing the problem, understand why so and so behaves the way they do before you judge them, or before you start legislating for them on how they should live. Usianze kutungia watu sheria vile ya kuishi maisha yao, kila mtu anapambana na hali zake.
But there are a lot of deputy Jesus
and that's why for me my motto is, if you can't help someone, wachana naye apambane na hali zake. Don't try to supervise. Usikuwe nyapara kwa maisha ya watu, usianze ku legislate vile watu wanaishi maisha yao, unless their lives impact yours. And if they do, it means those are people you cannot do without. Figure out how to coexist, figure out how to make them better person. And that's why I was saying it's very foolish to hate people that you can't do away with. Nakumbuka ile nilikuwa nasema unachukia serikali, na serikali iko
na itaendelea kukua,
hakuna mahali itaenda, na unachukia hii serikali. Saa zingine unajitanga mkutano, unajia mbona najitesa hivi. You burdening yourself, you know, you are allowing some very useless things to live in your head rent free, when there are so many ideas out there, some good people that you can create memories in your head. But the moment you intoxicate your head with that negativity, I am telling you the truth, you will walk into a room of opportunities and you will walk out empty-handed because of your negativity. Negativity clouds our judgment. It closes our eyes to the opportunities. And that's why wewe unaendanga unatupa pale, unatupa uchafu pale, kuna mtu anakuja kuokota. Akiokota unaona ni mjinga sana, but what you discarded has value to some. And that's why in my other life I'm a climate change enthusiast. I believe in green transitions and circular economy. I believe in circularity. And that's why for me I value everything, positive and negative. Kama inaniumiza na jaribu tu kuiavoid ama kulive nayo, kama ni mzuri na embrace. So I believe in doubling up on the good so that it can cover for the bad.
Wow.
So vijana wajitume, lakini you have to do it your own way. Bandwagon mentality is bringing down our country.
That's the word actually, bandwagon.
Ukitaka kusimama kitu yote, hata ukitaka kusimama president, and you believe that is what God created you to be, you are not doing it because unataka kutoa mtu fulani. You are not doing it because mazee jamani enjoy maisha yani. Let me tell you, people are going through a lot, including the president. It's not easy. It's not easy. When you see people out there, they are going through a lot.
Okay.
Usiaitamani kuishi maisha ya mtu yenye haujui. I used to have a cousin of mine who raised me. He used to he was a fairly blessed man.
Okay.
So alikuwa anasaidia watu. So unajua ukisaidia watu kwa kijiji, kila mtu anatamani akue kama wewe. So he used to tell me, nikikupea hii kichwa yangu siku moja, utaikata uitupe kwa choo. What I'm simply trying to say is just be yourself first. Once you're yourself, then assess your abilities, do a SWOT analysis on yourself. Once you've done a SWOT, understand your strengths, the opportunities, strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats.
Yeah.
Once you understand them, then you capitalize on the opportunities and your strengths, but you must be alive to your weaknesses and the threats. Because a man, the strength of a man, the power of a man is not in his strength. The power of a man is the acknowledgement of his limitations. Hapa ndasukuma, lakini ikifika mahali asema naweza, lakini hakuna haja nipite hapo. That's what defines a man. The ability to take a step back when you have the power and all the means to move forward. That's what differentiates people who want to be alive and suicidal people. The ability just to take one step
ahead.
I used to have a friend of mine tukiwa campus. Alikuwa ananiambia tukienda sherehe, alikuwa ananiambia always save the last bottle for your safe transport home. Usipige sherehe alafu unaanza kung'ang'ana kupanda matatu. Just save the last bottle. Ni ujinga. The last bottle. You can do it.
You can. You can.
So always be alive to those challenges and you'll make it. There's nothing that is impossible. I'm telling you, kama mimi niko hapa. Kuna mtu mwingine.
So last but not least, Honorable Odweyo, I just wanted to ask, how can we curb the bridge between the people, especially the young people, and the government? What are some of the measures we can use, especially on us young people? Because I feel like the government is also trying to reach out to us. How can we extend our hand? Not tuweze kushikana sasa isemekane, okay, this information nowadays inafikia kila mtu. The positive ones.
There is something called an ecosystem. The environment. For the monkey to survive, it does not have power, but it will try its level best not to destroy the trees. Nyani akiona ndizi kwa mkoba, hataenda atoe yote, ataenda atoe moja akule, akuje kesho. What am I saying? The government is usually a rigid entity that is structured to operate in a certain way. That is the nature of governments all over. We, as a people, advantageously, we have been given the freedom of conscience by God, not even by the Constitution, to think the way we want. The Constitution has given us the freedom, the right to express ourselves in whatsoever manner, including even offending people, because there's no law against offending people. Unless you are defaming them, which is now a different story.
Yes.
My call to all Kenyans, and especially the young people, I try not to talk to people who have less than 10 years, less than 5 years. I try not to talk to them. I try to focus on people who have 70 years, who have 50 years on earth, who have 30 years, who have 20 years. Those are the people I focus on. There is an environment, there's an ecosystem. Kuna ile serenity prayer. Yasema, God give me the strength to?
I don't remember.
Serenity prayer inasemanga uwezo wa kufanya kile naweza, na wisdom inaitwa aje kwa Kiswahili?
Wisdom. I don't know.
Na
hekma.
Mungu nipe uwezo wa kufanya kile naweza, na unipe hekma ya kukubali yale nisiyoyaweza. So what you can do it 100%. What you cannot do, try to avoid. To bridge the gap between the government and the young people, the young people have to exercise their freedom of conscience and expression positively. That's why I was saying, turn digital enthusiasm into digital entrepreneurship. Create a positive environment in yourself. Create an institution in yourself that you want now to mirror the institutions.
Wow.
The government is a replica of our individual selves. You want the police to do their police work in 1, 2, 3 ways. Do you see that what you want out of others from yourself? Unataka President William Ruto afanye hivi kazi in your own free space. Is that what you do? Is that what you aspire to do? Unataka kuwa MP, MCA, president in your own genuine self. Nini na kumotivatingi kwenda kuwa huko? Before you talk about those ones, ask yourself, what is your motivation in life? Create a positive environment. Embrace the reality. Kuna vitu hauwezi badilisha. You will kill yourself ukiendelea kupigana nazo. Ndovu atakukanyaga kichwa, atakanyaga panya akipita, na si ati kwa ubaya, but that's how nature is rigged. But accepting reality, it starts with accepting reality, being positive, and then doing what you can to make whatever space you operate in better. Maombi yangu kwa vijana ni kwamba tuelewe mambo yanavyofanywa, especially how government operates.
Yes.
Let's take a moment to understand the opportunities that are there. Side, there's a lot of misinformation even on Nyota. There's a lot of misinformation. Hata juzi I was watching some very respectable people on TV wakispew a lot of propaganda and lies about Nyota.
Yeah.
And Nyota is a very good opportunity. Mtu anauliza ati sasa hiyo loan imechukuliwa World Bank, ati sisi hatupewi na lakini tutalipa. Kwa nini si walink tu hao watu na World Bank wapewe na watalipa? So I asked myself, when a road is being constructed in Mandera, mtu kama Wabusia itainisaidia lini?
Itakusaidia.
Now I'm saying,
Okay.
Haitanisaidia, but mtu wa Mandera pia ni Mkenya. And that's how we develop our country collectively.
Yes.
There are people who don't pay taxes, direct taxes, but they benefit from the taxes of people who pay direct taxes like me. And we don't complain because that is the spirit of nationhood. In the government providing a conducive environment for every citizen to be able to fend for themselves, the government imeamua hawa vijana wanataka kazi. Na wengi wao hawajasoma, hawawezi apply kazi Safaricom ama hata kwa government ama Airtel ama KCB wakapewa kwa sababu ya upungufu wa masomo yao. Serikali imesema lakini wengine wanapambana. Mwingine anauza ndizi. So tumsaidie vipi? Tutafute pesa mahali, tumpe aanze biashara, akianza biashara alipe ushuru, ataandika watu wengine. That's how our country develops. A country does not have to develop because wewe lazima upewe. For a country to develop, everyone else must have a fair share of the opportunities. And the fair share, si lazima ati serikali ikipatia vijana pesa ati ipewe wazee pia pesa. Inaweza pea vijana pesa na ipewe wazee kitu ingine. That is complementarism. Unaona? We don't need to look like we are competing as a country. And I go back to our currencies because that's the beginning of our problems as a country. Pesa ya biashara inapeanwa, wewe si ati kwa ubaya, lakini kuna watu wengine they are employment oriented, they are followers. You cannot do business if you are a follower because followers are very hesitant in making
their own money,
making those critical decision taking risks. So just identify your strength, do it, understand what the government is doing, be positive, angalia opportunity maliko. There are many people out there who are willing to help. Like for us, we have a very open policy. Sisi tuna deal na mahasla, we are people facing ministry. We are in the office at 7, sometimes we stay up to 9. Na hiyo 9 si ati tuna watch Netflix. There are people in our office from 7 to 10. And even the CS himself makes an effort to see them from morning mpaka tunamwonea huruma. Now, but we also, sasa sisi as technical people, we support because that is our job. Our office is open. If you have anything, you come in. What we can do now, we will do. What we cannot do, we will tell you we cannot do this. But because we don't want you to die, we'll divert you to another place where. But as citizens, tukue positive. Si lazima upende serikali, lakini penda nchi yako.
Ukweli.
Serikali ni upepo, inapita.
Ingine
itakuja. We have offices. Let's ensure that we focus on offices, not on individuals. Because opportunities are in offices. When you focus on people, inamaanisha ile siku hiyo mtu anatoka, maisha yako imeishia, which is not a good thing.
Tuachie na ile statement ya digital time na entrepreneurship. I wanted to tell the people about the youth especially, kuhusu your time na entrepreneurship, what you spend and how you do it. There's a tagline, you used it all along in this podcast. Kuna kitu ulikuwa unasema kuhusu digital inspirations and so on and so forth.
1, transform your digital enthusiasm into digital entrepreneurship.
Mmesikia hiyo?
Use your data and time to make money. Making money is not fetching those coins, monetizing Facebook. But it's about building a brand in yourself. When you go online, aspire to build a brand. That brand is what will attract opportunities. mimi kuitwa hapa sijatolewa chini ya kitanda. There is a small brand nimebuild ndio mkaona we can have this conversation.
Yes.
And I appreciate, I don't take it for granted.
Hata mimi si take it for
So mimi I also wish you well, mgrow kabisa. I want people like, we want media
and
entrepreneurs like these ones. We need digital spaces like these ones, not those ones that spew vitriol. Unfortunately in Kenya, mimi nishaifungua account. Unajua nakuanga na account ya TikTok na IG.
Yes.
Lakini nilijaribu kupost karibu miezi 2 nikaona napata tu view moja, likes 2. And then na wale watu wako na 1 million views vitu wanafanya.
Na vitu wanasema.
Nilijiuliza swali, kwani ni mimi niko na shida? Mpaka nikasema nikachoka nikawachana nayo tu. Nikasema Wakenya tu wako na. So even as we blame the government, I want to tell you for free, my dear, go online. Check the accounts, TikTok, Instagram, zenye ziko na the highest followers. Look at what they post. Natafuta account that is having real conversations. See how many, especially young people, will watch that. Do an analysis. What do we spend time watching? I don't want to say. But nishai compare content yangu. Nikasema labda mimi si mtu wa TikTok. Because TikTok nikagundua labda
hizi platform hazina mwenyewe.
Hazina mwenyewe. Sasa ni content,
ni content tu. Asante sana, tumeshukuru sana. That was so impactful, it was so knowledgeable, it was so educative and informative. Kwa wenye watakuwa wamewatch ama watawatch, I bet they'll get a lot of knowledge out of this, because at the end of the day we need such conversations in our platforms for us to be enlightened about matters that affect us, especially the government. Government is our business as much as we are also their business.
Yes.
So thank you so much for impacting us with the knowledge. I'm sure kuna watu watataka ku reach out maybe regarding questions related to the funding, the government funding and so on and so forth. So wanaweza kupata wapi?
Mostly I'm active on Twitter and Facebook. Odweyo Kennedy. But handle yangu ni @Odweyo Kennedy MP. Mostly I'm a very, if you look at my page, I'm a very positive person. I used to be very negative, but I learned that I was punishing myself. Hii mambo ya kuchukia watu mazee, kuchukia serikali, mazee, punish yourself. So if you see my page, mostly I'll be sharing the opportunities or the engagements of the ministry.
Yes.
Or when I travel out of the country, I share some good things that I think. Because for me, like, I'm fascinated by those bullet and electric trains. I like those integrated systems. I like clean environments.
Like the other day I saw there's a young man who made a train from London. It's going towards ndani ya maji kwa ground for like 30 minutes and then inafika Spain.
Those are the things
we should be sharing, actually.
And we share them. Their environments. Me, I always welcome anyone with an idea. Bring it forward. The environment is not perfect, but ukiwa na idea mzuri, one day itapikiwa. The guy who invented M-Pesa might not be as famous as Mark Zuckerberg
Ukweli.
But that guy, mimi huwa nasema, the impact of what he did, he might not be the richest, he might not have financially, but the impact of what he did is what I focus on. So
and we are enjoying that.
Uko na idea, ipeane huko nje. Don't be selfish, utakufa nazo saa zingine. Me, sometimes I'm accused of being too selfless because I do things for free, and maybe they say that's why I'm a poor man. But mi wanasema hii akili siku nunua, Mungu alinipea bure, na hata ile vitu nimesoma nime-enhance tu, unaona. So kama kuna space, akili si sabuni, idea si sabuni.
Ukweli.
Give those ideas out there. Mwenye itasaidia isaidie, mwenye haitasaidia utasonga mbele.
Aya, asante sana Kennedy Odweyo, ndio huyo ndani ya Touch Media Studios. This has been an amazing conversation. If you're a young person, you're going online, you want to search for opportunities economic wise, you want to learn more about the government, guys, be positive, learn about things, get more informed. Usiende tu online ukaropokwa things without getting the knowledge. Be more, positive, cut negativity, put it out. At the end of the day, it's all about positivity. It's all about informing, educating, and entertaining. Thank you so much. Nimeshukuru sana.
I'm
Karibu
honored.
tena na tena na tena. Asante sana. Thank you so much. My name is Amina Hussein. Remember, this is Sips and Soul, where we share, feel, and also connect with human interest stories. Till next time, adios muchachos.
People who work in the government. No. The government is you and me.
Yes.
We are the people who make it to exist. Once you know what the government is, then you ask yourself, what is the government supposed to? What is the role of the government? The government is supposed to put in place measures that ensure that a conducive environment is created for you to be able to fend for yourself, not to depend on others.